Hey everybody, it's Chandler Klebs. I'm recording another video because, well, this is one of those times you see. I have the house to myself right now because my mom's gone, and I figured I could just record a video and tell people all that's going on lately for anyone who's interested. Um, Many people have recently subscribed to me on YouTube and have probably been seeing the Free Will Science and Religion podcast that I upload to YouTube, as well as our episode of Impersonal Opinions, or it was Impersonal Opinion. I keep getting confused of whether there's an S at the end or not. But anyway, yeah, the Free Will Science and Religion podcast is where we talk about the belief in free will, why it's false, and the problems it causes when people believe that people are the first cause of their thoughts and choices and all that stuff. And the Impersonal Opinion podcast is a second podcast where we don't take our opinions personally. And this is something that's really hard for a lot of people to do. Because as I was explaining to my mom, people take, whenever you criticize their beliefs, whatever that may be, they think that you're attacking them as a person. And this is a problem that I've had with when explaining to people why I'm not a Christian and what's wrong with the Bible. And they say, "Why are you attacking me for my beliefs?" And first of all, they're not your beliefs because you didn't write the Bible. You did not invent the idea of God. And so the problem is that I'm not blaming people for believing differently than me. That's the whole benefit of understanding that free will is an illusion. People don't choose what they believe. Um, Look, there's always a cause or a reason why you believe what you do. And so everybody knows by now I'm atheist. I don't even believe that there is a God. And obviously that kind of makes, Christianity a big problem. And it makes it a big problem too, because the main thing is that people know that I'm pro-life for not just unborn babies, but the humans already born as well as other animals, and I want the world to go vegan and stop eating these animals. Hey, I'd like the lions and tigers to stop killing and eating other animals. Of course, for this to happen, they would have to be provided another food source. And so a lot of people say I'm really idealistic about all that stuff, and maybe so. But that's just the way I want it, and it's not my fault that I want a world where there's no pain, nobody's being killed and eaten, nothing like that. That's the world I want, and hey, isn't that kind of the world anybody wants? And I think that we need, I talk about the way I want the world to work, and people say, well, Chandler, it's never going to work out that way. Well, why is it never going to work out that way? And then they say, well, because people have free will. Well, and they don't get it because that's not an answer. And of course, I don't want to go too long on the whole free will thing because that's why I'm part of the podcast with those other guys. But the problem is, people say, oh, well, there's always going to be evil in the world because people have free will. But that's not an explanation. What is free will? And they say, well, people make choices. Well, why do they choose things? Oh, because there's reasons for why they choose things. I'm like, so you're saying that they can freely choose, but only if they have a reason for choosing something. And there's some people who say they can choose for no reason. And that's how I explain it to people. When I'm short on time, here's how I try to explain it, even though it's much deeper than this. I try to explain it that a free will would literally allow somebody to choose something for no reason at all whatsoever. And people can say stuff like, I can raise my arm for no reason. And like the reason they're raising their arm is so that they can try to convince someone that they're raising their arm for no reason. But that's the reason why they're raising their arm. I mean, seriously, it's just kind of funny because, like I was talking with my mom about this, and I think that she sort of gets it, like, because I'm saying that people don't really make choices. And she says, well, she understands that she says people do make choices, but there's always a reason for why they choose things. And well, I think it's a semantics thing. I think it's really just a confusion of language thing, because what I'm saying is that it's not up to the person making the choice, because when they choose something, it is not because they that they just chose it out of nothing, that they all by themselves came up with something. And let me give an example. Now, my mom bought me this Fluttershy. And Fluttershy, the fact that I have a stuffed Fluttershy, there's a cause for that. And I can tell you the causal regression that goes back into why I have a Fluttershy. And it all, okay, the reason my mom bought me this was because she remembered me talking about wanting to buy one, that I kind of wanted to buy myself a little, My Little Pony Fluttershy, because I didn't have any stuffed animals anymore, because I gave them all away before I went in the Navy. But I just felt like I need a stuffed animal. Have you ever had that feeling you just need a stuffed animal? And so yeah, but my mom remembered that. So that's the prior cause that led to that. But what was the prior cause of me wanting Fluttershy? Well, that's because I'm already a fan of My Little Pony, and I like Fluttershy because she's kind and she's a friend to all the animals and all that, So here's the deal, though. What's the cause of me liking My Little Pony? Well, I don't remember precisely when I first encountered My Little Pony, but it was a while back. I think I encountered it on YouTube or something, and I watched a bunch of episodes on YouTube of My Little Pony. And I was hooked, man, because, hey, it's a cartoon. And who doesn't like cartoons? It's a cartoon with lots of horses, And Fluttershy was probably my top favorite of the main six. The main six, there's Twilight, Sparkle, Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, Rarity, Pinkie Pie, and Applejack. And Fluttershy was always my top favorite, And second to her is probably Twilight Sparkle. I mean, who doesn't like Twilight Sparkle? Because I guess I just find my personality, the way I am, to be represented in these two ponies. Because when I'm all serious, man, I get frantic, I get stressed out, and I act like Twilight Sparkle. But at the same time, I'm a lot like Fluttershy because I'm shy and because I just love animals and I'm just, anti-violence. So Fluttershy matches my personality the most closely, and unless I'm stressed out, and then I'm acting like Twilight Sparkle. But anyway, so I know the show My Little Pony well. But here's the deal. Well, what is the cause of the My Little Pony show existing? Because obviously, and this is obviously there are people who like horses. There are kids who like horses, and people got together, the voice actors, the artists, the musicians, all these people, they got together and made the most excellent cartoon involving cartoon horses ever. Seriously, My Little Pony is just awesome. And so that's, but that's the deal is, well, here's the deal. Why do people like horses? Because horses exist. Now, here's the deal, mind you. Real horses do not look like Fluttershy. No. Real horses have a much longer nose. their nose and mouth sticks out much further than the ponies in in the My Little Pony show. So they look a little bit different, but in general they're the same. Horses have four legs and they have hair on their head. They have a ponytail. There's a reason they call it a ponytail. Um, and yeah, seriously, but it only makes sense that since horses are one type of animal that exists on this planet, and it only makes sense that some humans are gonna like horses. You just like some people into dogs, some people into cats. I'm really into horses. And if I owned some land, and seriously, I'd have a horse. I would just have a horse, let it run around and eat grass and stuff. I don't even necessarily want to ride a horse. I might do it someday. I don't know, but I just like horses, because they eat grass, they eat oats, they have four big legs, and I don't know. I mean, dude, horses are cool. I like horses. So horses are sort of my animal that I like. But what it comes down to is that even though a person would say, well, my mom made the choice to buy me Fluttershy. Well, she's not the first cause of it. And neither am I. I'm not the cause of Fluttershy. And even the people who made the My Little Pony show, they are not the cause of horses. And obviously the horses had to be the prior cause to why there would be a cartoon show about horses. So what I'm talking about is an infinite causal regression that goes back infinitely. I don't believe in a beginning. I don't believe in a beginning, in a creation, in a creator, because I really believe in an eternal universe without beginning and without end. And that's important for people to understand if they really want to get what it's down to with me, because I've thought it through for a really long time. And the whole free will illusion stuff, I know that, determinism or causality, everything having a cause, means that we're not the cause of ourselves, our desires, so we don't have free will. I have no choice but to like horses. I have no choice but to be against abortion in a sense. And so what happens is the way the world works can really be explained, because if people had think about it, their personality is largely a matter of their genetics, what their preferences, what they start out liking, and then their education filters into it. So that's the thing about it, is that people aren't fundamentally responsible for anything. So that's an important thing to understand, and I totally get that. And that's the message of why not having free will, why it's so important, is that I don't take it personally when people disagree with me, even about the most serious of subjects like abortion and animal slaughter, But it still hurts knowing that living things which feel pain are being hurt. That really still bothers me, and I don't choose that. Because here's the deal. Let's say that somebody else convinced me that I should be pro-choice, for example, about abortion. Let's just take that as an example. Let's say that somebody else gave me a bunch of arguments and convinced me that being pro-choice was the right thing. Well, guess what? If I became pro-choice, it wouldn't be my choice, but because somebody else convinced me. So you see what I'm saying is, nobody chooses things. They do things because they believe they're the right thing morally to do, or they believe that something's true. But it's not that I chose to be atheist. It's not that I chose to be pro-life. It's not that I chose to like Fluttershy from My Little Pony. It's not that I chose these things. And I understand that. So that's the thing. It's so important for people to understand that. Because what this does is this allows me to be less upset. Because in the past I used to get really upset with people, but not so much anymore, because I'm no longer blaming people, and So, I mean, seriously, I hope that make what I've been saying makes sense. But if you want more about this, well, check out our Free Will, Science, and Religion podcast. You'll see them all over my YouTube channel, all the different episodes. And they're uploaded to archive.org. And at the moment, I've been posting links to them on my antichoicedeterminist.wordpress.com blog. So that's another that's another place where you can listen to them. But seriously, this knowledge changes the world because it's changed the way that I use Facebook. Because I'm not debating people the same way I used to on Facebook. And here's why. Because basically, the problem is you don't get much accomplished on Facebook. To have a serious discussion, you need to get on Google Hangouts or on Skype or talk to people in person. But here's the deal. There's a lot that I have to say, but I don't say unless I'm being recorded. Because unless I'm being recorded when I say this stuff, it's a waste of breath. It's a waste of my carbon dioxide and oxygen if I say this stuff and I'm not being recorded. Because after I'm dead, I won't be able to say it. It must be recorded. And so I'm not exactly the private type of guy. The whole world knows I'm against abortion. They know I'm vegan. They know I like My Little Pony. They know I don't believe in God. They know it because it's all public. It's all on YouTube for the world to see. So that's why I do it, because after I'm dead, I won't be able to say anymore. And that's what makes me sad. Because I believe after I die, I won't exist anymore. I'll be totally gone. And that is why death is sad to me. That I won't be a part of this world and I won't be able to change things. And I won't be able to watch My Little Pony. That's depressing.